Mike Time Steve Show. The Mike Time Steve Show.
Welcome, everyone, to the Mike Time Steve Show. We're coming at you live in the shadow of Fenway Park at the Baseball Tavern here in Boston, Massachusetts. And this week, Mike Time Steve equals Brady's Bunch or Fenway Frenzy.
All right, so fun fact for y'all. Listen up. So since 1946, the Red Sox have not won 100 games. They have won 100 games already to start it. So that's something to be excited about, everybody. Me and Mike over here, we are both Mets fans. So we came all the way out here to check out the game last night. The game went wonderful for us, but it was fun all around just to see the ballpark and how classic it is.
Hey, look, I'd rather lose last night and have the season the Red Sox have had. So it goes both ways. I mean, yeah, it was a great night, but they have a great season. I mean, 100 wins is nothing I mean, that's a difficult thing. They haven't done it since 1946. So, I mean, and they've had championships and stuff like that within that time window. So, I mean, that's crazy, and especially the last decade, it's been pretty nice to the Red Sox fans. So, I'm really gassed up to be here. This is kind of cool. We're in Boston. We're in Fenway. Right behind us, out this window, you could see Fenway Park. So, excuse us if we're a little nervous, but it's a cool thing, and I'm happy.
We're in the
to be
shadows.
Here. So
I'm not nervous at all. I'm taking it all in, and I love you guys being here. And listen and participate. You guys got a question about something? Come on down, speak your opinion, ask us a question, challenge us, whatever you want to do. A little bit about yesterday, too. We were out there doing some street interviews, got some great reception, got some great interviews from people out there, really warmed up to the crowd, and had a fun time. So we want to dive into some football talk here, too. So does anybody remember last week when Aaron Rodgers... he comes out of the game in a stretcher. It looks like he's done for the rest of his career, it looked like.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Anyone who took him in fantasy, I was praying for you. But, just like a movie, though, he comes back. Right. He scores a bunch of points after looking like he's pretty much dead with a sprained knee. The thing is, though, when he came back and then he had the interview, he looked very loopy at the end. So I was wondering what kind of shots they gave him. I mean, you got to give us a shot, but what kind of shots were they giving Aaron Rodgers?
He was smirking like a little kid that, I mean, we've all pretty much done it. You go home, you're underage, maybe you had a few with your friends, and your parents are still awake, right? And you have that awkward conversation with them, and you're just trying to get into your bedroom. Well, that's what Aaron Rodgers just had with millions of people on television. I mean, that guy was loaded, whether it be painkillers or whatever. He's sitting there slurring his words. He has no idea where he is. His eyes are dilated. It was just crazy, and we got to experience that. And then afterwards, he kind of doubled down and said, like, no, that was just a lot of adrenaline. I don't like painkillers. So, I mean, what do you think? I think they shot him up with something and sent him back on the field.
Absolutely. Look, I got next to zero sleep last night, and I kind of feel like Aaron Rodgers right about now in that game. That's how he looked in any case, but...
He didn't play like it, though. I mean, he went out there and just dominated.
Right.
No, he went out there and dominated, that's for sure. There was a ton of adrenaline going through him.
We got a Cubs fan right here.
Oh, shout out to the Cubs fan.
We met him yesterday, I think, right? No, another one. So there's two here flying the W.
There's at least two.
What's your name? Can we get a mic?
Yeah, you want to say something, man? Let's ask him.
Absolutely.
What do you want to ask him?
What are you doing here?
My name is David Lichtman. We came here for a friend of ours' wedding. Their son lives up here in Boston, so we...
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Oh, not me, him.
Right. Congratulations, you got to party with him.
Yeah, so they came up, so we're spending a couple extra days. Both my kids actually we're from Illinois.
Okay.
So both my kids graduated University of Massachusetts, Amherst.
So you know what I'm going to ask you, right?
What's that?
So you're Wrigley, and you went to Fenway. Which one's better?
Yeah, that's right. They're the same parts,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay.
Too.
Okay.
We came up here last March when the Hawks played Boston.
Oh.
And then we flew back to Chicago to watch the other game. So we had a group of us that did it.
That's
too.
so cool.
We have friends here now. We love the city. My wife is here.
Awesome.
We're meeting some friends. So.
Well, here, I want to give you a Frisbee. just so you can check us out at
So
the
you can
Mike
get a
Time
shot.
Steve Show. There you go, man. Thank you for participating, and we really appreciate it.
Hey, I went to Wrigley a couple of times. Took a trip with my father. I love the experience. I love the old ballparks, and I love how they keep it retro too. I caught myself yesterday at the game, looking at. I'm like, okay, what inning are we in? What's
Right.
And I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, there it is, right there.
Yeah, it's very
There's the change.
hard to get your bearings. Like
It is.
you're very spoiled with Citi Field or even Citizen Bank by where we live because of the modernness of baseball. But it was kind of cool just to sit there and watch a game. And also, you can't really get out of your seat because it's an old, like, people didn't do that back in the day. So concessions are very hard to get to. So you just get to really appreciate the game and sit there and watch baseball. Ty and I were sitting next to each other most of the game, and he was having fun.
Let
when
me
they
say,
brought in,
I don't watch baseball.
Yeah.
But I've been to plenty of Phillies games,
Yeah.
and they're nowhere near as exciting as it was yesterday.
Right,
It was so
right.
exciting in that stadium. It was
I agree.
crazy. I never experienced baseball like that. So now I feel like I love baseball after yesterday. Seriously.
I'm glad we brought you in, man. We got a baseball fan out of it, so that's always a good thing. Hey, look, man. Also with Fenway too, I love how when you don't have the upper decks in the outfield, so. When Austin Jackson hit that bomb, you saw it just like flying into outer space. So
Right.
that was pretty cool
Yeah.
to see. And look, but it was a great
Great
baseball game.
Awesome
And I loved
game.
it. And back to some football though too. Let's talk about Jetgate. So you guys are probably wondering, what is Jetgate?
Right.
All right. So they said they knew exactly what the Detroit Lions were going to run offensively during New York season opening 48-17 win. So our question is how?
Right. Like, I hate to bring it up. We're in New England, but Spygate, like there's certain situations where your players can't go out there and say, hey, yeah, we knew what they were going to run. Like, and they were proud of it. And then you had Todd Bowles, the head coach, kind of backtrack and go, oh, we didn't know what they were going to run. And it's kind of like, yeah, you obviously did. And if you go back to the audio, you go back to the video, you could actually hear them yelling the Jets defense saying what play was coming. And they were right. They were spot on.
Well,
So-
the Lions, they have a new head coach, but they did not change their offensive coordinator. It's the
Right.
same offense. It really was predictable. And
Yeah.
the Jets, it's going to be a good year for them. I'm sorry, Boston. I'm sorry, Patriots, but watch how Sam Darnold is coming.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So speaking of that, like I'm wearing the green for our Celtics. So if you're a Celtics fan and you want to give us a shot, it's $15. But obviously this placates into the Jets, Eagles, pretty much anybody that's gangrene. So
Yeah, and what he means by $15, $15 gives you that shirt. So that shirt that he's wearing right there.
Yeah.
Give that a shot. Give us $15, you get green shirt,
Right.
just like that.
live special. So
Well, I mean, I haven't heard much about this Jetgate further than that. Maybe
Yeah.
they're trying to sweep it under the rug.
well, the Lions coach did a great job of doing that as well. Like they definitely did not want to accuse the Jets of doing that. And like to Ty's point, like it was very predictable. Their offense was extremely, extremely predictable. So I think that's where they ran into an issue.
Absolutely, man. So look, speaking of Sam Darnold, so he's gonna. People have said, okay, maybe he might be the next Tom Brady. I think we're getting way too ahead of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It was one game, and look, it's the Detroit Lions. Come on, man. It's not like they played the Patriots or something.
Right.
So what's left in Brady's tank?
Right.
I mean, he's 41 years old.
Yeah.
How much longer can he do this?
Does anybody have any feedback on that at all? Like Tom Brady, like how much longer could he honestly do this and do it at an elite level? Like I'm just curious to say.
Well, I mean, personally, I think with the new rules and the way they protect quarterbacks, he could probably play till he's like 50 at this point.
Yeah, I guess, and his health regimen too. Like I think he's healthier than I am. So
He is.
I mean, I know he is. Yeah, there's no question. But
And his wife probably keeps him happy too, I'm sure. I mean, I get happy just looking at her,
look,
so
man,
I'm sure he's having a good time.
My wife's kept me happy this entire weekend. She's been a warrior, like taking care of our daughter. They made the trip with us because they figured it'd be cooler to do this than just sit at home, and she's really taking the brunt of it. So I do appreciate that, and I love you, Jen. So thank you.
Hey, look, I'll tell you this though.
Yeah.
We're Giants fans, me and
Right,
Mike here,
right.
and we're not salty about Brady. I'll tell you that right now. He's not in our division.
Not even Brady though, Sam Darnold, because we passed up on him.
Mm-hmm.
So and now they're saying that this guy's going to be the next great AFC quarterback. So like we had the option to draft him, we didn't because we still have Eli. But we all know how much Eli has left in the tank, to be honest with you. It's 2 years at best. So, we kind of set ourselves back. Don't get me wrong. Barkley is going to pay dividends in the beginning, but in the future, like, let's talk 10 years from now, Sam Darnold could be the truth.
Yeah, he just keeps going and going and going, and hit him again with it.
Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going.
He must have the Energizer battery in his backpack or something. Keeps doing it.
When we were on the streets doing live interviews, one of our the people we interviewed said, as long as he wants to. And I believe that statement. It's as long as Tom Brady wants to play.
It wasn't at first, though. I think they were really looking at Garoppolo, and that's why he made him get rid of him. Because I think at first I think they're trying to push him out. I do think Belichick thought about pushing Brady out.
Yeah, with the whole Garoppolo thing.
I think he thought about it, and Brady wasn't having it.
Look, Belichick's about winning. Like, he doesn't care who he has to hurt. He's not about feelings. And he's not about legacies. He's about winning. Yep. And he felt at that time Brady wouldn't have given him the opportunity to win anymore, So we got some cool things in the crowd. We got one of our multipliers that we actually met at a rest stop that we're a part of Die Hard Orange and Blue. Yeah, and he's here now with his family, and he's going to come up and talk for a couple seconds. Yeah, come on.
You gotta give us a shot.
So it was kind of cool. He recognized the podcast, and I told him where we were going to be, and he's here now. So
you're probably wondering, what is a multiplier? That's our fan base. So the more fans that grow, the more multiplication happens.
Hey guys, good to see you. It's Gary from Rochelle Park. You look all familiar to me. We got the Chris Daughtry doppelganger and this other gentleman with a great family with a pretty wife and his beautiful little daughter. Unbelievable.
Thank you so much for both compliments.
So tell us about yourself. You're a Met fan, obviously?
Been going to Met games since 13 years old. My mother let me get on a bus and a 7 train, and I haven't stopped going since.
It's only 15 years. Wow.
I see you fail math in school. Now, one thing I want to say. And I mentioned to you yesterday when I ran into you by coincidence.
Right.
Next year is the 50th anniversary of the 69 Mets.
Right.
I did the research. 27 of those 35 Mets are still alive. And I thought all the coaches would be dead, but they're not. Joe Pignatano, a great Brooklyn Dodger with Gil Hodges, is still alive living in Brooklyn. He's 88 years old.
That's unbelievable. God bless him.
I noticed the Wilpons is actually kind of like, our great owners that are highly loved by the Met fans. I noticed that they've been softening their stances lately. Even Jeff was like torn up about David Wright, who they absolutely love.
Yeah.
I noticed they were like persona non grata with the players in the past. You got to know he brought back Ed Kranepool, who needs a new kidney. They let him throw out the first ball.
Yeah.
Buddy Harrelson was at Citi Field the other day. He's suffering from bad Alzheimer's.
Right.
They're starting to take care of their old players, and now Jay Horowitz is taking over that venture, and I thought they were going to screw up the reunion, but they're not.
Right.
So I figured the best thing that they could do for the fans when they have that next year, with their softening stance, is announce that when Tom Seaver shows up, we're finally going to put the Tom Seaver statue outside instead of an old apple from the old ballpark.
You're right.
Thank you so much for your input, man. I appreciate it.
All the fans talk about that.
Right.
We want that statue just like all the other ballparks.
I agree with that. I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
And to allude to your point as well, when we first opened up Citi Field, it was more like the Jackie Robinson Rotunda and then nothing else.
Right.
So it was like very Dodgers and then just like plain ballpark.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Now we've added to it. Became more Mets. You guys here in Boston, you know that your ballpark is it's bleeding Boston because it's never changed. There's been some renovations here and there, but we're doing the right thing finally now. And thank you so much for saying what you have said.
Thank you.
I appreciate it too. So thanks again. That's one of our multipliers out there. That just goes to show that any of you guys out in the crowd, if you want to speak your voice here, something that you need to say, come on down. We're not gonna judge you. Anything that you say at all. So you got to give us a shot. Now we do have T-shirts and we have them in multiple colors.
Right.
Okay. So we have the red, we have the blue, we have the lighter blue. We have to be a Patriot. So we have the green for the Celtics. So
and of course the blue and orange.
And don't forget, we have our Take Over the Segment board right over there.
Right. Mm-hmm. So if you don't want to talk, and I don't blame you, we have a message board. You hashtag whatever you want. You know, if you're not happy about us talking about the Mets, say that. If you're not happy about us talking about Boston, whatever, say something. But what's going on, buddy? Nice to meet you.
Hey, what's up, man?
So,
He wants a shirt. Give him a shirt.
yeah, gotta give him a shot. Yeah.
You gotta give us a shot.
So so we're gonna get into this real quick. The Red Sox aren't happy with the trade that happened, and I think it's a little ironic, and we're gonna get into this. Josh Donaldson, of course, started a rehab assignment prior to the trade. Actually, the deadline, August 31st deadline. So the waiver trade deadline, and then all of a sudden he wasn't injured. But however, when he got traded, somehow he got re-injured on the plane. So
Stiff neck.
Yeah, they activated him on the 31st so they could trade him. He goes to Cleveland, and next thing you know, he's back on the DL, and he's back rehabbing this injury. So Boston, and rightfully so, kind of felt that it's not fair. You're technically not allowed to trade a person on the disabled list. They allowed this to happen. They activated him, and now, you know, he's an Indian,
And that would be a loophole, is what I would say.
a big loophole.
I mean, it was Boston, it was Houston, it was pretty much anybody who might face them in the playoffs was not happy about it at all.
Right. So I mean, it's just crazy to me. I guess the Red Sox have never done anything like this, of course.
No, they haven't.
Right.
and I'm going to tell you, okay? So it's funny because the Red Sox said they would never do something like this, but guess what, man? With Chris Sale on the disabled list for the first month, and then all of a sudden, what happened after that? Right. So Chris Sale, does that ring a bell at all?
Yeah, it does. It does. He's on the disabled list for a month and a half after their lead gets insurmountable. So you guys took a huge lead, and all of a sudden your ace goes, "Hey, guess what? I'm hurt." Like, no, you were saying. It's kind of like taking your quarterback out. If you ran a 40-0 in the second half, you're up 40-0. You're gonna take Tom Brady out, right? So he might not let you, but you're gonna want to. So they were protecting their assets. So yeah, shame on both Cleveland and Boston. So that's my point on it.
Hey, so I don't know about you guys, but speaking of aces or what should have been aces. David Price does not plan on opting out for the remaining 4 years of his contract with Boston.
Right.
That was a record contract, too, as well. Personally, I don't think he's lived up to the contract. I think he's got, hit around way too much.
Yeah.
He has gone to the bullpen a few times here and there.
Right.
Has came back, pitched as a starter. But, he's not going to opt out. So you got him for the next 4 years.
Right,
So
right.
good luck with that.
He's like...
And it is.
He's like, why would I leave Boston to go to a lesser team? No, to get lesser money. Because if you opt out, nobody's giving you that next 4 years at that contract.
I wouldn't.
No way.
I wouldn't give him any price.
Not even. Yeah, no price for David Price.
No.
So at no price will David Price leave. But at no price would David Price make the money he's making in Boston for the next 4 years. So, and look, you go to his MLB stats.
They look good this year.
They do. Everything looks good. I mean, and to be fair, he's getting a lot of run support. His ERA is 3.42, which isn't bad. I mean,
especially in the American League, that's good.
Really good. Yeah. So I get it, but he's also 2-8 in the postseason. So he's not a big game pitcher yet. So it's kind of going to scare me if I'm Boston and I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to put in for my starting three when the first round of the playoffs. It's a best of 5, right?
Yeah, best of 5. I mean, you probably, if he keeps them pitching this way to the rest of the year, I say you put him in one of those games at least.
He's got to be.
Career stats, if you look at his career stats, I mean, this is also with Tampa Bay as well. So a lot of his success came from there. But he's 142 and 74.
Right.
That's a great record.
It is.
3.24 ERA.
Right.
However, I'm just saying, recently with Boston over the last few years or so,
right,
he hasn't really lived up to that contract.
Absolutely not. And a 15-6 year is not going to get him paid the way he got paid from Boston.
Yeah. And, speaking of aces, too, there is a Cy Young award race that is very controversial right now in the National League. We're going to talk about both leagues and kind of the front runners who we expect to win. And in the National League right now, we got the three-headed monster. All right, so we got Jacob deGrom, right? No bias at all towards him whatsoever.
Right.
And then you got Aaron Nola and you got Max Scherzer. Right. So the three of them right? Now, the whole controversy that I'm talking about is the wins versus losses in the record, right? Now, with baseball, this day and age, you can't look at wins as a determining factor when it comes to that because he just doesn't get any run support. Now, for me to say he doesn't get any run support is an understatement.
Right. It's insane to me. The other thing is, like, anybody in the crowd think Jacob deGrom should be the Cy Young winner? No, yes.
We got one.
We got one. Cy Young for deGrom. What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah. So deGrom, I think personally he should because of his ERA, 171, 195 innings pitched, 37 earned runs all year.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, is that a typo? That's crazy. Good. So we just got word from one of our multipliers that Matt Scherzer did get lit up. So
is that the competition? That's what I want to ask is who else would it be if it's not DeGrom?
Scherzer, who's on a similar team as DeGrom right now.
A bad
on the
team.
Nats. Yeah, really,
underachieving team.
Underachieving.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then you got Nola, right? Who's with Philly, who had a great year up to they met the Mets. So
I mean, Jim Brewer. You guys know who Jim Brewer is, I'm sure. He's a big Met fan.
Huge.
He went to a therapist about it because he just couldn't take it anymore with the Mets going on, and he had a few things to say about Jacob deGrom.
See, we get hope every year, okay? We have the best pitcher in baseball. He's given up 1 run in the last 90 games, and he loses every game.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's like I think it's a mental thing, and in baseball being so mental, you go out there, you're like, we got to score runs for this guy. We got to get him the Cy Young. But they continue to go out there and don't score runs. Now you saw 8. It is insane, and you got 8. You got 8 runs last night, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee on Sunday when he pitches, we get 0.
Yeah, we're getting shut out.
And he's going up against Chris Sale on Sunday.
And that's the other thing. Like Ty and I were cracking up about this, but clearly the Red Sox pulled their starting pitcher really early last night.
Yeah.
They're only down 1-0. They're not interested in this game. They're just trying to keep their guys healthy. They bring in a September call-up, and he gets lit up. And we're just watching his ERA grow.
His ERA was on the screen, and it said 9. I was like, man, well, no, it was 13 at first. It started it started with 9, and then went up to 13 after 1 inning. And I was like, how did your ERA go up 4
He kept
runs?
smacking me every time we scored a run. His ERA's going up like the jackpot, like on a slot machine. So.
And look, so now let's talk about the AL. So now on Sunday, deGrom is going to face Chris Sale. Right. So we got 2
Lucky
Cy
Jake.
Young Award winners going head to head. That's going to be a great game there too. My prediction for that 1-0 Red Sox. Just saying. I think deGrom's going to go probably 8 innings.
I agree.
Give up 1 unearned run.
It's only right.
And then
It
lose.
wouldn't be 2018 Mets if Jacob deGrom did not lose tomorrow 1-0.
And guys, I real quick, I got a fun fact for you for both Sale and deGrom. In 2010, when they were both in college in the Atlantic Sun Conference Championship, deGrom hit his first career college home run off of Sale.
That's crazy.
At the time when Sale was the #1 prospect coming out of college.
Wait, but so deGrom would have been a shortstop though, right?
Yeah, no, he was
He
was
was, right.
a shortstop until I think his
Right.
junior year of college.
That's why there's a lot of argument about deGrom's arm. Like, he could last a little bit longer because he's got less mileage on it than most pitchers. He wasn't out there throwing 80 to 100 warm-up pitches. Like, he was a shortstop. Yeah, granted, their arm gets stressed out. But, like, look at Reyes' arm. It's still pretty strong, so...
Yeah, and that also goes to show why he's so good defending his position.
Yes, without question.
Without question. Now Sale, he's 12-4. Lucky him, he actually gets wins. He must get run support.
Right.
But 196 ERA, 147 innings pitched. He has gotten hurt a little bit here and there. But 32 earned runs. Oh, wow, that's even less than deGrom. He's only given up 10 runs.
Right.
And he doesn't walk anybody either, all right? 33 base on balls. He barely walks everybody. So you just to understand the whole course of a season, you only walk 33 guys.
Right.
It's almost impossible.
It's insane. It doesn't happen. Like, I've never witnessed that in baseball, let alone, it just does not happen. For a guy to lose that many games and perform that well and be untouchable, like, be the ace of our team, but when you look at that win-loss record, you're like, how? And sometimes he's bringing in more RBIs than the rest of the 8 guys batting.
Right.
So it's very stressful. I feel bad for Jake. We'll get into this later, but David Wright made a comment hoping that his final game, like Jake's not on the mound because he'd feel bad for him. So it was kind of cool for him to say that, and it was lighthearted. It was a funny joke, but you saw the Wilpons kind of like smirk, and that's not normal. So.
Hey, one thing I want to bring up too, totally off subject,
Right.
But the Dunkin' Donuts cups.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the cups that were being given out around here lately?
Yeah.
They happen to have a logo on them. The logo had a bird
championship
on
logo.
it. Had a bird. It was a green bird.
Right.
And that happened to be the Eagles. So you guys remember the Eagles.
Oh no!
But in any case, that was being handed out, and I want to know how that happens on a PR standpoint with handing them out in the city here. If anyone has one of those cups, bring them up.
It almost made me think that either they're just so used to shipping. So I don't know how to take this if I'm a Patriots fan, right? Either they're so used to shipping out the championship cups to them that they forgot to change the shipping label or whatever, and they just got sent here, or maybe Dunkin' Donuts isn't doing too well in the New England area, and they're just like, you know what, we're going to stick it to them. Like, like maybe another donut place, like, I don't know, like Tim Hortons, I don't even know.
So you're blaming the
Yeah,
shipping
Krispy
company.
Kremes, yeah.
You're saying FedEx did this.
I think FedEx did this. Yeah, I think so. It's just they're so used to giving it to the Pats and Tom Brady that they didn't change the shipping label. So I don't know.
If you're an employee in Boston
Right. Oh
and you see
my
that cup,
God.
you don't put
I would
coffee
get
in it
worked
and
up.
hand it to a
Yeah.
person. You don't.
Yeah.
You see it,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, we got to throw these cups away.
Yes,
right.
It's an accident. Look, shut down the business. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah, you shut the whole store
Yeah.
down for the whole day. That's
To be
you can't
fair,
just give
though,
out an Eagles cup.
it's a teenage person, like a girl or something, behind the counter. Like she's gonna
needs to
get
know
the
better.
cup out. Eh,
She doesn't care.
yeah, it's Dunkin' Donuts, bro. Like she needs to know better and not work there.
Touche.
But so if anybody wants to come up and talk to us, this is so cool. We're at the Baseball Tavern. It's been a Fenway tradition since 1962. The food is amazing. We're going to have some of it for our sandwich of the week. We're excited. We're happy to be here. Anybody wants to partake? We got our street team, Kenny and Mike Van Houten. Mikey V is a Red Sox through and through. Diehard Boston guy. He set up this whole trip for us. We really appreciate it. And they're answering all your questions right now. So if you want to change something on the message board, you want a T-shirt, come see these guys. They'll hook you up. And if you got a question like, hey, what the heck are these guys doing?
Yeah.
We're the Mike Time Steve show. So
It's like if you're like, who are you?
Yeah.
Why are you here
Why?
at my bar?
yeah, it's so creepy.
That's one of those two.
Also, we're giving away some Amazon Fire Sticks. We got some T-shirts we're going to give away, some Frisbees. We might even give away this Mookie Betts bobblehead doll, depending on how much money we raise.
By the way, what is this?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Does anybody know why there's
Yeah.
like a cape on him? It looks like water.
Water.
Is
Yeah.
that what it is for a walk-off?
Like a cooler? Is that what it is?
Is that what it is? When he hits a walk-off, he gets dumped with the water?
Right, because he looks like Ric Flair, like
Yeah.
with a robe. Like I was like, what is this? Like I get it. You guys have the most unique bobbleheads that I've ever seen, but this one does not make any sense. The Pedro, wrapping Pedro around the pole with tape, that's kind of cool. I wish I was here for that. But I'm like, what is this? Like I couldn't understand it. And the smirk on his face is priceless. So. And not David Price, priceless. So we're going to try to give this away depending on my multipliers. When they tell me, our street team tells us we hit a certain goal, we're just going to take every person that's buying. If you bought some, just give us your name. If you're not going to stay for the whole broadcast, we're here for another hour or so. Give us an email or a phone number. We'll call you and we'll ship this to you.
Yeah, so a little bit about the Pedro bobblehead giveaway. When I first saw it, I saw him tied around a pole, just like, and I was thinking, I'm like, are they like burning this guy at the stake? Right. Is that what it is? Like, I'm like, that's north, man. That's Salem.
Yeah, that's what he gets for leaving Boston.
You gotta remember, like
they were shipping him up north there to get burned like a witch.
Back then, that locker room was way different. So stuff like that happened. I mean, you heard all when Francona got the axe. You heard about all the drinking, all the stuff that was going on during games and stuff like that. It got out of hand. But when you're number one, you're having fun. So nobody's going to question you when you start winning. It's when you start slumping and stuff like that, all that stuff comes up. Mm-hmm. And but that is definitely some clubhouse fun that they had with Pedro. So. And look, Pedro, not only was he a great Red Sox, he was an amazing, amazing Met. And we're so happy to have him, and I think it kind of bridges us together. One other thing that kind of bridges us all together that's in here, we could all agree we hate the Yankees, right? So anybody here like the Yankees?
No.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Where's the cricket
Yeah.
sound?
That's what I thought. I heard a couple of crickets.
So
Hey,
that's awesome.
we share that, man.
Yeah.
Enemy of my enemy is my best friend.
Absolutely. So, you guys have had some tough times, so have we, so we could embrace that too. The reason why I'm a Met fan, I'm going to share with you. My grandma I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. My grandma and grandpa were Brooklyn Dodger fans, and they explained to me, and I don't know if it was true, but I'm a little kid, that the blue in the Mets stood for the Brooklyn Dodgers, and the orange in the orange stood for the Giants. And like they left town, they left New York. All we had was the Yankees, and then the Mets were born. So it
Interesting.
was
That's
like their
really
baby.
cool.
Yeah, it was like their baby that was born. So how could you not be a Met fan after that story? So I don't know if it was true. It could be like Santa Claus. Like I don't know if there's any factual, and if somebody wants to tell me it is or not, I don't know. But that's what my grandma told me, and my grandma was the truth. So you got a problem with my grandma? Come see me.
Grandma's always right.
Come see me, and I'll be like, why'd you say that? Like, leave me alone.
Hey, so we were going around too when we were doing our street interviews yesterday, just talking about
was cool.
favorite Boston memories, Red Sox memories. I want to start with what would be my favorite, or I think the most important, that broke the curse of the Bambino. So to me, it was Game 4, 2004, igniting the comeback, we're calling it. The Dave Roberts steal, going to second base. I'm sure you guys remember that. But look, before that, nobody in baseball ever came back in a playoff series down 3-0.
Right.
So that changed everything. Once
It
they
did.
won that game, I felt like now they're going to win the series.
Right.
Because they were down. The Yankees, with their pompous attitude, were like, oh, we're about to sweep them.
Right.
But that didn't happen. So
No.
in any case, when they won that game, then everything else rolled
Just
from
snowballed.
there.
You felt it after that game. They're down 3-1, and you're just like, there's no way the Yankees are winning. Like, there's no way. And the Yankee fan was just like, oh, we got them tomorrow, then we got them the next day. And, like, they just went on, and they just kept losing and losing and losing. And it was just...
And I was
the
laughing
smile,
and laughing
the smile
and laughing.
The smile just kept growing and growing and growing. So it was a cool experience. Mine, and I know this might get some Boston fans upset, but my biggest memory is Bill Buckner. So 1986... everybody knows what happens. The curse of the Bambino was in full effect.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
We are officially off the air now.
That's all right. We got all I see is orange and blue in front of me.
Yeah, so
I'm fine.
I just remember my grandma. Again, I'm like 3 years old, and my grandma just screaming. I thought she was going to die. I didn't know what was going on. So I swear to God, it's my first memory. It's absolutely my first memory. It's the only thing I remember. Her crying, grabbing me. I thought something bad happened. I had no idea what was going on. And
Well, something did bad. Something bad did
Yeah,
happen
it did.
to
because Keith Hernandez gave up, man. He's in the clubhouse right there, smoking a cigarette, having a Budweiser, and then all of a sudden he's sitting in the chair to the trainer's room, and then he's like, "Wait a minute, like this is gonna happen. Like I gotta sit in this chair." Like, because, baseball players believe in, like, crazy superstitions. So he's like, this chair has some luck in it. So he sat there smoking his cigarette, drinking his beer, and watched the rest of that game. So I thought that was kind of cool. Not cool that he left, but cool that, he stayed there to the end of the game in that chair.
I mean, look, since then, too, since you have broken that curse of the Bambino, 3 world championships, that's incredible.
Right.
I mean, I was very interested to know the difference in the feeling from pre-curse now to post-curse. And
Right.
are you guys still into it? Are you guys still as passionate as you were before?
Judging by last night, I'd say yes.
Me being 34 years old, I wasn't old enough to actually see a Mets World Series, so I don't know what it's like to win it all.
No,
in
yeah.
baseball.
Like I said,
So
I just remember that.
you've seen it 3 times already.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And, it's you deserved it. I mean, especially, I just think of some of these guys we were interviewing last night, old, top 50 plus, and they had to live through all the gluttony that came with being a Boston Red Sox fan. And now you get to kind of embrace that and just success after success. So hopefully us being here will rub some of that magic on our 2019 season. But, it was just a really, really cool thing. So we're going to take a short break, but we want your interaction when we get up from here and kind of like give us some feedback. If we're doing something you think we could do better, let us know. I don't think you could, but no, I'm just kidding. But, let us know what we should do. And if you want to be a part of this, let us know. We're the Mike Time Steve Show. So that's it. Right?
That's it. We'll be back soon, so stay where you are.
And
Don't miss a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Steven Tyler reference.
Don't want to miss a thing.
All right, thanks. All right, we'll be right back, guys.
The Mike Time Steve Show. The Mike Time Steve Show. Mike Time Steve Show. The Mike Time Steve Show.
Welcome back to the Mike Time Steve Show.
If anybody knows how to Irish dance, this would be the time. This would be a perfect time to do it.
Yo, where's Daniel Murphy? That's what I want to know.
Chicago.
Yeah. Good
Hey,
luck.
so we're back, and we want to start off here. I do see a lot of Met fans in front of me, so I can't help to talk about David Wright and his basically retirement. He never said the word retirement, but he cannot play no longer. All right. So we just want to talk about him, his career a little bit, and then we want to get some input from the fans out there. If you guys want to say a little bit about David. First off, he's a 7-time All-Star,
Right.
2-time Silver Slugger, 2-time Gold Glove winner. You want to just let him know the stats real quick? Hit him with some stats. Let him know how good this guy was.
Lifetime batting average, 296, 242 home runs, 970 RBIs, 196 stolen bases, and an OPS of 867. So 867. So my question to everybody out here, what's your favorite David Wright moment? Hey, look, it's Bill Buckner. Come on, you want to talk? Come here, Buck. Come on. Thank you. My
We
grandma
love you, man.
thanks
We love
you.
you.
No, we're just kidding.
We
Let's
love
go
you, man.
Sox. Good luck this
I
year.
love the hard hat, too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Go.
All right, so
we got a shirt for you guys. You got to give us a shot.
There's a red shirt right there.
Yeah.
It's for you. It has your name on it.
It does. What's that?
It has your name on it right there.
Who's David Wright?
So my favorite memory, just meeting him. I was fortunate enough to meet the guy.
That's awesome.
This was years ago when he first started, 2006
Right.
was when I met him, only a couple years in. He's an awesome dude, by the way, very nice dude. Look, he's gone through so much pain, so much adversity.
Right.
He doesn't have a spine anymore.
No,
he does
like,
not have a spine, literally.
I want to
And he's
retract
gonna play
that.
again.
That's something I said on air because I was upset when Cespedes went down. David Wright absolutely has a spine. And he showed it the last 2 years. I mean, his commitment, his passion just to get back onto the field so his daughters can watch him play. It's so emotional being a father, having a 2-year-old daughter. I couldn't imagine that. And the gluttony that he had to put his body through. The fact that he doesn't know what he's still going to have to do just to get up in the morning. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy thing to think about when you're thinking about a guy pretty much our age.
Yeah, and to be clear, physically he doesn't have a spine anymore.
Right.
Metaphorically, he does.
He does have a spine.
All right, he's a warrior out there.
Yeah.
Look, he said a little bit about in his very emotional conference that he had just a few days ago. We had some clips, and I just want the intern to play it real quick.
Something is always a concern for me. You know, whether it's my back, my neck, my shoulder. Some days that pain in any one of those 3 areas or all 3 of the areas could be moderate and manageable. And there were some days where it was, too painful to think about baseball. But it's certainly been challenging mentally also for your mind and your heart to say go, 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 and your body to say not today.
Yeah. And look, he's definitely one of my favorite Mets.
Right.
No doubt about it. I know from Boston fans, you probably have someone that's near and dear to your heart. I think of guys like Jason Varitek, for example.
Right.
Been a Bo Sox, since the beginning, right? So, I mean, if you guys have anything you want to talk about with David Wright, any one of your favorite Red Sox, you're more than welcome to come up here and we can talk about that too.
I got a question for you guys. I don't know much about baseball, right? So, David Wright, is he just a Met great or is he great? Like, is he a Hall of Famer or what?
He's like Don
Is he a Hall of
Mattingly.
Famer?
Like Don Mattingly, his career got cut short. I mean, to be frank, he was going to be as good, if statistically better, than Derek Jeter if he had the extra 8 years.
So is he a Hall of Famer?
He can't. Yeah,
He can't?
No.
No, I don't think he's a baseball Hall of Famer.
Okay, but
Definitely
he's
a
a
Met.
Met, yeah.
Definitely a Met Hall of
Oh,
Famer.
yeah, and they'll retire his number. There's no doubt
Awesome.
in my mind.
Great.
Number 5 means so much. He's our number 2. I mean, that's the same situation. So My favorite David Wright moment was 2016 when he came back in Philadelphia. I was at the game behind the dugout. You can see me, I wave when he hits the home run. And it's first home run back. And that place just went ape, you know what. And it was just insane. Murphy just found his swing. I watched them during batting practice. Murphy and him were hitting each other in the chest, like trying to get each other pumped up while they're roping home runs like out of nowhere. I mean, I say this every time. We play well in a bandbox. I mean, we just proved that last night.
We do.
We play well when the fences are close.
Hey, look, and to be fair too, Fenway I think is only a bandbox to left field. To right field, it's not a bandbox.
Right.
You got to scorch that ball. And Jay Bruce proved that last night. He went out where it was 380. You have the Pepsi pole, and it goes around like that.
Yeah.
So he hit that like a monster, and it was like first row, so it doesn't look on TV like it's a shot. But that's pretty far, man, for a pole.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So look, we want to talk about Mount Rushmore. So your top four. So look, we have our top fours for New York. We want to hear you, Boston. What's your top four? If you want to come down here, tell me. We're going to kind of go through round table what we think.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to go on the fly.
Right.
We're going to do all the sports here. This is any sport, by the way, that you want to pick. You can do it in any kind of order.
Right.
All right.
Boston, Mount Rushmore, just to be clear. So
Boston.
It's got to be New England, Boston, Bruins, Red Sox.
Okay, so for me, baseball, Ted Williams.
Yeah.
Right? Basketball, I'm saying Larry Bird. All right? Help me out, Bruins fans. 'Cause I don't know any Bruins whatsoever. All right? At all. So, look, I'm going to just use a baseball guy. I'm going to use Jason Varitek as my third.
All right.
And then I got to throw Tom Brady there for football.
Yeah.
What do you want?
What are you going?
Listen, I don't watch baseball. I don't watch hockey, and it's really sad, right? So all I have is 2 basketball, 2 football. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's
fine.
fine.
And I have Brady Belichick. What else can you say?
Right.
Brady Belichick, and then I have Bird and Red Auerbach.
Okay.
That's definitely the 4 for me,
Yeah.
for Boston guys. And I love all those guys.
Yeah.
People don't like Brady outside of here, but I love Brady, and I'm not a Patriots fan. Brady is just great, and obviously Belichick is just as great. And both of them together, gold.
Yeah.
Go.
Right.
Yeah, and for me, when it comes to baseball, I'm gonna have to go with Ted Williams. There's no bigger Boston great in terms of baseball than Ted Williams.
Okay.
For basketball, I'll have to go with I'm gonna go with Bill Russell. Because he paved the way for Celtics greats like Larry Bird at that point.
Right.
Football. You have to say Brady. Who else is there really?
Mm-hmm.
There is no second. And then for my 4th, because I don't really watch hockey either. I'm gonna have to go with another baseball guy, and I'm gonna say David Ortiz, because that guy became a Boston legend. He started from nothing. He started from the bottom,
and now he's here.
Yeah. So if I go basketball, I'm going Bill Russell. I'm sorry. I think he means a lot more to Boston than any other player that's ever taken.
He has all those rings, right?
Yeah.
I get it. But I just look at the team. But I get it.
I know, but it's like
he's obviously
the Belichick, the type of situation where he did it both ways, right? Am I right by saying that? So, hockey, I looked into this. Bobby Orr's the man. 3 MVPs for the Bruins, 2 Stanley Cup champs. Unfortunately, his career, much like David Wright's, was cut short. So just imagine what this guy could have done. Hockey is a tough sport, and for your body to give out on you like it did for Bobby Orr, that kind of sucks. But, and then obviously I'm going with the GOAT, Tom Brady. With baseball, I kind of get torn because my heart wants Pedro Martinez. David Ortiz means so much to what the winning Red Sox have done now. And Ted Williams is baseball. Like Ted Williams, Teddy baseball is Ted baseball. Like it's just Ted Williams and baseball to me. It's like Laurel and
Hardy.
And
Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys know the story with Ted Williams. Last guy to bat 400, incredible. He had a doubleheader. Final week of the season.
No, I meant the Hanny and Laurel, like where some people hear Hanny.
Oh yeah,
and like
you're talking about Yanny.
Yanny, and Laurel. Yeah, like so. Some people hear baseball. I hear Ted Williams.
I hear Mike Time Steve when I hear it. I can't stop but to hear that. But the guy could have sat out.
Right.
He was like, no, manager, coach, put me in. I'm gonna do it, and he ended up hitting 406 at the end of the year. So that's
hey,
that's
Bostonians,
incredible.
any Bostonians out there want to come down and give your 4? What's your 4 Mount Rushmore? What's your Mount Rushmore of Boston sports? Please come down here, grab the mic. Anybody?
Let your voice be heard.
What about Mike?
For real.
Mike's been out there in the crowd helping us out. What's your top 4?
What's your Mount Rushmore,
Come on
Mike?
out.
Come on
We
in.
have a real Boston fan right here.
Mike is a.
I want to hear from none of us up here are Boston guys. I want to hear from a real Boston person on the street last night.
I only like Boston because they hate the Yankees, and I hate the Yankees.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's pretty much been the same as what Steve was saying earlier. It's Tom Brady, Ted Williams, Bobby Orr, and which one of them is missing right now?
Basketball.
Larry Bird. Yeah, Larry Bird was the Celtics.
Cool, yeah, I agree with that. That's actually pretty close.
Somebody on the street yesterday said Paul Pierce. Over Russell, over Bird, he said Paul Pierce was his Celtic.
Were they in their 20s?
I was going to say, how old is he? Yeah, that's
but you get
probably
that.
it.
I mean, Pierce is that dude. He's like AI. He's a modern day guy.
I see a ton of blue and orange, so I want to get into this. Todd Frazier hit a walk-off home run the same day David Wright announced his I can't play baseball anymore thing, because obviously he's going to go back on the DL. He deserves that money. They're going to put it through insurance, so technically he's not going to be medically cleared to be able to play professional baseball on a daily basis, so that's how it's going to work. That's why they can't use the R word. But so Todd Frazier hits a walk-off, and I don't know if you guys noticed, the walk-off celebration was a bit of a dud, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I'll explain. So the umpire, Tom Hallion, so the reason why we have these shirts called "You Got to Give Us a Shot,"
right?
It was something that went viral. Terry Collins, our ex-manager, came out steaming because we threw at Chase Utley, we missed him, and the umpire ejected him right away. So he's yelling top of his lungs, "You got to give us a shot, right?
You got to give us a shot!"
Yeah. Just like that, right? So now we had the same umpire in that game. Now, there's also some more to this, too, because Todd Frazier happened to pull one over on the umpires and grab a fake ball, hear me out, a fake ball from the stands and show it, and he got away with it, right? So the MLB...
You get your shot. You had your shot right there.
So the umpire had, did not like that, and he also did not like the fact that whole video got out. Same guy now, keep in mind, that is at home plate. So Todd Frazier hits a home run. It's a walk-off home run. Comes around the bases. Now, as he's about to touch home plate, you got Tom Hallion, the same umpire, standing there in front of the plate like that, stopping him from crossing the plate. I never seen that before in my life. I don't know if you guys ever seen that before.
Last night, that was the umpire from that game?
Yeah,
No,
not
last
night.
night.
It was
Not
a
last
couple
night.
nights ago.
The umpire that was yelling back and forth with Terry Collins, and you had the "You got to give us a shot" thing,
right?
Which is part of our whole T-shirt.
So yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I think it definitely stems to that you got to give us a shot. It only makes sense unless they were chirping back and forth, and he was upset with something that Todd said. Like I said, baseball players chirp a lot. As long as they don't turn their back to the ump, most of the time they don't get thrown out. But the situation with that, for him to be standing on the plate while Todd Frazier is trying to celebrate with his team, it makes no sense to me. So come on, Tommy, you're better than that.
Yeah, Tommy is better than that. And you had Jay Bruce too in the photo, just looking at him like, "What are you doing?"
Right,
He's like,
right. And it was
that face.
I didn't know, because there's been a lot of injuries with walk-off celebrations. So I didn't know, in honor of David, they were afraid that they were going to get injured, and maybe that was why it was such a elastic. I get it. When you win a game that way, I don't care what your record is, you're going to celebrate. And they didn't celebrate too hard. And I was like, that was kind of like a dud. I was like, I want my celebration to be bigger than that, especially an emotional day like this.
And we haven't had many of those this year.
Right. So Tommy, you better know the situation, bro. I mean, you were mad at Terry. Could you imagine if Terry Collins was the coach and that happened?
Oh, he would have been fuming. Hey, speaking of Todd Frazier, though, true story. So his father, Charlie Frazier, who I happened to go to the same school that he principaled, we were out there in the street, random as hell. I seen this guy walking up, and you can't miss him because he's about 7 feet tall.
He's a
this guy,
monster.
The guy's huge.
That guy knows baseball,
so I'm like, Mr. Frazier, and he's trying to get out of there, and we're trying to get an interview.
Right.
So I'm like, hold up, man, do an interview with me. I started shouting out, Tom's River South. That's the place where he's from. Right. So I shouted that out, said my last name, dropped it. He's like, guys, I got to go. I'm like, no, you're doing an interview. I see your dad. He's doing an interview.
So I lost a year of baseball because Jeff Frazier hit me with a pitch in the back of my leg. And so I started pointing at my leg. I was like, no, your son did this to me. You're giving us an interview. You're giving us an interview. And he gave us an interview. So it was kind of really,
It was
really
really cool, man.
It was unreal.
Gotta love them Frasers.
Yeah, and then speaking of family, we keep walking and walking, and we're interviewing. And then who's the next guy? The next lady we jumped
the woman.
into?
She was the aunt of a Red Sox player.
Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah.
Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah, and we didn't know this until...
Say that 5 times.
Yeah.
No.
We had no idea who we were talking to until way after the fact. Like, I'm halfway through the interview, and she's like, oh, yeah, my nephew, I have to be a Red Sox fan now. I was like, why? And then she goes, well, that's my nephew.
My nephew got drafted.
Yeah, so...
And honestly, if you want to see this footage, you go to Mike times Steve. That's MikeXSteve.com.
Right.
You will see the clips. You will see the on-street interviews.
Yeah.
Some of them are great. Someone had a pen,
Right,
you know,
right.
a pen that had smoke coming out of it, vapors coming out of it, and you asked him, you're like, "What's that?" And he went
What's
on a
in
whole
that?
speech why it's okay for him to have a pen. And I agreed with him, granted,
Right.
but I thought it was great.
Oh, it was hilarious, and it was a lot of fun, and thank you to anybody who participated. A lot of guys that were asking me while we were walking during our last break, like, who are you? Like, which one are you? I'm Mike, and this is Steve.
Right.
And the Times part is Ty, because 24 Media produces this entire thing for us. Like, they're amazing at what they do. You go to 24media.us, and if you're trying to get something done, it could be as easy as just a business logo, as easy as advice on how to grow your business. Get with Ty and his crew. They will change your life. I mean, we are on location in Boston at a bar that honestly doesn't need us here. They're busy. They'd have more people standing here probably than us.
They love us.
But because of 24 Media, we're here. So thank you, Ty.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you to the Baseball Tavern, too, for having us.
Yeah, a little bit more about us, too. We normally do a sandwich of the week. One of our callers that call into our daily weekly podcast, Vinny from Manhasset, told me that I was getting too skinny and I needed to eat a sandwich. So we got with local restaurants, and we do a sandwich of the week. We don't rate it. We don't give it like a 5.6 or a 2.2. We just make it our honorary sandwich of the week. It's a legit sandwich. We're not going to send you somewhere to get a bad sandwich. So in honor of the fact that we're in Boston, Steve's idea was to do what?
To just eat as many sandwiches as possible?
No.
Well, I want to taste test. First off, I'm going to taste test this pizza. So
Right.
you guys are familiar with Barstool? Anybody?
Right.
Okay. So you guys know the rules, all right? There's one bite. You take one bite and you rate it, okay? So I'm gonna rate this pizza right here. All right? Check it out.
What you think, man? What you think? What's the feeling on that pizza?
It's definitely different. Okay? It's definitely different.
What's on it? What is it?
I'm not even sure. I think it's chicken.
It looks like a barbecue chicken. Yeah.
It is.
So it's really good. It's definitely different. It's like nothing I ever tasted before.
Right.
But one bite.
It's a bar pie.
I give it I'd say an 8.
Yeah, that's a good assessment.
I'm giving it an 8.
Out of 8?
Yep.
Here's
I'm
the
being
thing.
honest.
Dave would call that a rookie score. But here's my situation. Like, I don't come to Boston and tell you how to make your clam chowder. So please tell Dave, don't come to New York and rate my pizza, bro. I'm from Brooklyn. I know what pizza is. You know, like, you don't got to tell me which ones are good. I love Barstool, but yeah, don't rate my pizza. But no,
That pizza is good.
Yeah, it's really good.
If we can get one of those hot dogs in here, that'd be great.
Like, that's where he kind of started with that, with like bar pies and stuff like that. So this is a legit bar pie. It's really, really good.
It's good.
You know?
It's partially my fault because we let it sit here, so it's a little cold. But I'll eat cold pizza all day.
Look, one more thing. Rick is outside. He's the president of the board of Leukemia, Lymphoma Society. He's riding a bike for 5 hours today for the Dana-Farber Hospital. So the Baseball Tavern has been sponsored for the last 6 years with Rick on this journey. He does this every single Saturday. So you see him out there, he's pedaling away. Like, he's been pedaling more than we've been talking.
Oh, man, he's going so hard.
And that's a lot. That's a lot to say. So this guy Rick is out there busting his hump, trying to help raise money for leukemia and lymphoma. I mean, and if anybody who has ever had that strike their families or their friends, like, you understand what he's trying to fight out there for. So give him a shot
Yeah, drop
Go
some
out
money
there,
out there.
Drop some money with him.
He also takes Venmo.
Yeah.
You ask him, he has a Venmo. Seriously, he has
He's
a
got a
Venmo, out
Venmo
there.
account.
They need the money, obviously. There needs to be more
Yeah.
further advancements in taking care of this
So
disease.
save a couple dollars, spend a lot of money here at Baseball Tavern, but save a few dollars on the way out to give to Rick. I mean, it's an awesome cause. We're just blown away, and we're happy to announce that to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're not greedy. Give some to Rick.
Right.
Rick deserves it too. For every word that we say, he does like 5 pedal strokes.
So speaking of celebrations, and I mentioned like injuries, there was an injury on a football field. Did you hear about this?
I think I did it, but you tell me again because I kind of forgot.
So Georgia State coach Sean Elliott suffered a torn right bicep while celebrating a touchdown during last week's loss to North Carolina State. Now here's the situation too. NC State whooped their you-know-what. They scored the first touchdown, so they were up 7-0. They ended up losing the game 41-7. The coach ends up suffering an injury that requires surgery and is strictly off a fist bump. Like, I don't know how hard you could fist bump somebody. And we're from Jersey. We know how to fist bump, right? So I've never seen somebody get so injured from something like that. But then it begged the question, like, how many other times has this happened? And so there was a Brazilian soccer player who scored his first career goal and began doing somersaults. He left on a stretcher.
So did Aaron Rodgers, and then he came back, which is incredible.
Yeah,
God knows what he was on.
This guy did not come back. So, and then the perfect game by Matt Cain. Aubrey Hub jumped off out of the dugout over the rail. And sprains his knee and misses like at least 15 games.
Yeah, and one of my favorite ones, of course, too, Kendrick Morales. Kendrick Morales was playing for the Angels at the time. Right. He hits a walk-off home run, and we talked about the walk-off and how it was weird with Todd Frazier and the ump and all that. So he comes home, totally clear plate. There's no umpire in front of him at this time.
Right.
So he just jumps on it and does a celebration, and he breaks his leg. By jumping on it.
It makes no sense. Like, yeah, I get it. You're happy. You're celebrating. Your entire team is just trying to throw stuff at you, hit you. It's like it's very barbaric. Like, it's absolutely barbaric. But yeah, to break your leg on the plate is crazy. And maybe that's what Tommy was trying to prevent. Come on.
No. I think Tommy was trying to prove a point.
Tommy's smarter than that.
But I mean, do you guys experience injuries like we do? I mean, we're Mets fans,
right?
So we know everything there is to know about injuries.
Right.
Every single year we have a new injury for apparently no reason.
We have Cespedes come back for one game, help us beat the Yankees, hits a homer, and then goes in the clubhouse and tells everybody he needs surgery that's going to take him out for a whole year.
It's unheard of. So
I've never witnessed that in my life.
But what about we had like 2 different people have hand, foot, and mouth disease this year.
Yeah, both in New York too.
Yeah.
Luckily, it hasn't made its trip up to Boston. It stayed in New York.
It did.
But the hand, foot, and mouth disease, apparently adults, don't get that very often.
Right.
It's a child disease, but Noah Syndergaard got it, and J.A. Happ of the Yankees got it.
Right.
So you guys are very lucky that Chris Sale didn't catch that too.
Yeah.
Just to round that out, though, one of my all-time memories in terms of like a guy getting hurt celebrating was Gramatica for the Cardinals. He was a kicker.
Yeah.
Where he kicked the game-winning field goal, jumps up in the air to celebrate, comes down and just collapses because he just destroyed his knee.
It's not funny. It's not funny, guys.
It's so great.
It's funny. It's very funny.
They're professional athletes, but it makes me feel better when I wake up in the morning and like I twist my neck or like I hurt my back because they do it in the most simplistic ways, and it just goes to show with the whole Bell situation I was talking about. Like, you can't predict when you're going to get injured. So for him not being a Steeler right now doesn't help anything in my eyes. Yeah, you're getting less mileage on your legs, but that's about it. And speaking of Bell, he was out in a nightclub the other night partying. So, he's still moving those legs around. He's still having a great time.
I'm sorry, but I really hope he gets hurt. I don't want him to get hurt. I don't want to wish it on anybody, but it'd be crazy if he really got hurt clubbing instead of playing football.
I don't think that's possible. Look, Ty, we were out clubbing last night. All right.
Listen, I could have easily got hurt last night.
And I'm still here. I'm still doing my thing. I'm not hurt.
We watched the guy get hurt. He slipped on.
On which guy was this?
On the drinks. You were out on.
I was doing my thing, cutting the rug as usual.
I was chilling with Kenny, right? And this dude just lays out. Like, he just laid out, and everybody's like, "You all right?" Like, he was not all right. Like, he went into the bathroom and definitely shed some tears. It was hilarious.
I mean, I was cutting so much rug out there. I should work for Home Depot.
But if anybody's seen the Facebook dad guy, the Facebook videos of the dad that's trying to stay with the times, and he like learning all the new dances and stuff. That's what Steve reminded me of last night.
Oh,
and you're not even a dad. But
I'm such a good dancer, though.
You remind me of the dad from Facebook.
The thing is, Steve,
I'm not even a dad. What do you mean?
No,
I know.
I think, here's the thing. Steve has not embraced the skinny jeans. He's still like, and he lost some weight. So I think his jeans were a little daddish. I agree.
It was kind of like MC Hammer,
A
actually.
little bit, yeah. And you were doing the MC Hammer. I saw that.
I saw it. I saw it too. I looked down.
I want to talk about something that was a little, before we wrap this up or go into another subject, one more Red Sox topic. So there was a fake rat that the Boston Red Sox were playing with in their dugout. It was like a skeleton rat, and they showed it on TV. And Steve and I always talk about like willing things into existence, right? So somehow these Red Sox players took that skeleton of a rat and willed it into existence and happened to put that rat in the Mets dugout. So last night, while the Red Sox are playing with a fake skeleton rat, the Mets are dealing with a real rat in their dugout. And I'm not talking about Reyes or anything like that. I'm talking about an actual rodent was in their dugout. So it was pretty crazy.
During the interviews yesterday, I saw a rat running around. I think that might have been the same one. I tried to interview him, and he was looking for cheese or something. I was like, look, I tried to put a piece of cheese on myself to try to help him come by, and no, he just ran away. But
you did channel your inner Tom Green last night. You went after that pigeon, and that pigeon let
that pigeon was serious. Like every time I went up to him, he was just like.
Are you sure you weren't interviewing Jose Reyes?
No, Jose Reyes was not there, but it might have been like a long-lost cousin or something, because it was just like Jose does.
So if you want to be a part of the Mike Time Steve show, you can be. We have a You Pick'em League. It's already started. We know football already started, but you could join. It's $1. We give away prize packs. We'll send you a Mike Time Steve basket. The winner last week was Greg. He's one of our multipliers. His name is G Sizz. He's actually ranked 38th now in NFL.
Yo, he really killed it. He only got one. He technically got one pick wrong. Well, two of them wrong because of freaking Steelers and Browns tied. Like, who ties?
So hopefully this is the last week he wins, and we don't have to just keep sending him stuff, because if not, we'll be in debt to him. So I wanted to kind of ask, like, anybody who had a Sunday pick, what do you guys think? Giants are in Dallas. Jets are playing the Dolphins. The Pats are against the Jags. Eagles are against Tampa, so our producer is against our intern. So there's a lot going on. So you want to go with the Giants-Dallas game? Who's going to win?
Well, you know what I'm going to say. I mean, I'm a Giants fan, and I'm a Dallas hater. So I want the Giants to win so bad.
Right.
So please win on that one. Look, we do have You Pick 'em. We also have a regular fantasy as well, Mike Time Steve.
Right.
But I'm going to go with the Giants on that one.
Right. So I'm going to go against I'm going to do the Jets versus Dolphins, and I'm going to give you my pick. So I'm going with Sam Darnold. I mean, I think the Jets are going to have a great start. They're going to probably finish 9-8, or something like that, or 9-7, right? Or 7-9. Yeah, somewhere around there. But they're going to beat up on the Dolphins. There's no doubt in my mind.
They should.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after last week, they're flying high, and that's what I'm going to go with. So. Intern, you get the Pats versus the Jags, and I can't wait to see
you get the lucky one.
Oh, I get that one?
Yeah, you do.
That's because you don't want to hear my opinion on the
I don't
Eagles
care
and
about
Bucks.
your opinion on the Eagles. Nobody cares about the Eagles.
So, okay, it's the Pats against who again?
Pats against the Jags.
It's a good game.
The Jags? That
That's
is
my
a good
game of the
game.
week.
Right.
It could be
Know where you are.
A lower scoring game than normal. But, I mean, you're not going to get bet against Tom Brady. He beat him in the playoffs last year, and I honestly don't see that changing this year.
Right. I agree with that. So, Ty, what are you up with? Tampa, Eagles, what do you think?
Be smart.
I'm going to be very smart. Obviously, Tampa. First of all,
you're obviously wrong.
Listen, if you watch both of them, first of all, the Saints, the Bucks beat the Saints last week.
Okay, give him a shirt instead.
The Saints are much better than the Falcons. And the Eagles had a tough time with the Falcons on Thursday. Everybody saw that.
No, they
had
it
a
was
tough
rough
time with the
start.
Falcons.
It was a
horrible game. Besides the Philly again, I love that play. I hate the Eagles. I love the Philly play.
The funny thing, it actually wasn't even the traditional Philly. They took the same play that Tom Brady dropped, and that's the play they ran, and ran it successfully.
Listen, they beat the Falcons barely. We gotta barely beat the Saints, but it was a high-scoring, output game. I don't think the Eagles can keep up with us. Not with Foles.
No, that's the
if
thing,
Wentz
though.
was there,
You're not
maybe.
going to score those points against this defense.
You watch.
You're not.
Not 48, but we're gonna drop freaking 36, 37. Watch. We're dropping
We'll
30.
see. We'll have plenty to talk about this next week.
Yeah, I'm pretty
You're gonna have
excited
nothing to
about
talk about.
So, again, this is the Mike Time Steve Show. I'm Mike. This is Steve. We're a podcast from the bowels of Shea Stadium. That's what we say. We act like there's a bunker there is a bunker in Shea Stadium. And that's where we broadcast every week from. And every so often we creep out into the sunlight. And we end up at cool places like Fenway Park.
It was good to get a tan, finally.
Oh, it was crazy,
especially
right?
yesterday. I mean, being creeped out in the bowels of Shea Stadium this whole time,
Yeah.
and then coming out here in Fenway getting some sun.
That's one thing
great.
I would say is like everybody's like, oh, you can walk there. I feel like all we've been doing is walking. Like you can't walk there.
Right,
Like it's pretty far.
Yeah,
Like,
my brother Chris Daughtry called me the other day, and he was like, "Hey, he's like, do you want to?" I'm just name dropping. He's like, "Hey, do you want to work out?" I was like, "Nah, man, I got my cardio in already."
I walked a lot, but I love. You know what? I've never been to Boston. My first time here, I freaking love it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it because people
Right.
hear me or nothing.
Right.
I love Boston, seriously. And I was a little scared coming in.
And we didn't even scratch the surface. There's some other areas we got to go to.
No, we're turning up tonight.
Yeah, we are. So the other thing was we had an interview yesterday that was pretty funny. Roger Goodell. That guy hated Roger Goodell.
He was all over him.
It got very explicit. He had Roger Goodell as a
D-bag.
D-bag, yeah. And, we asked him why, and he elaborated on what he would look like as a D-bag. And it was it was not what I expected. I thought, maybe he would talk about Brady and Brady getting suspended and not liking Goodell for that. And just the way his treatment of the NFL lately, a lot of people don't like it. So, no, he just described what a D-bag would look like.
He was very wrapped up in his opinion, just like a D-bag would be.
I get it, though. I mean, obviously, Boston people are not fans of Goodell, and I didn't even think about it until I got here because he really has been really hard on the Patriots. But the Patriots have been kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit with the rules. So,
It's not just Patriots. And
It's
Patriots
everybody,
fans,
though. Yeah, it is everybody.
Football fans don't like Roger Goodell. It's just the way it is.
But thank you, everybody, for having us. Thank you, Baseball Tavern. Thank you so much for having us. This place is amazing. Please, if you're in the Boston area, come down here and check it out. If you're here now, obviously you're here.
Right.
Tip your bartender. It's awesome.
It's literally a stone throw, a baseball throw away from Fenway.
I'm looking at Fenway right now, out the window.
It's a traditional thing. It's a Fenway tradition since 1962. The food's amazing. The bartenders are great, and we just had a blast.
Great hosts.
Yeah, just real quick, guys, tell them where you can find us.
Absolutely. I'm gonna start rattling them off because we were so many places. I'm gonna start it, and then anyone just fill in the blanks.
chime in.
Okay. So iHeartRadio, Facebook. We got Facebook Live. We have Instagram. Okay. We got SoundCloud.
Spotify.
You can find us on the Twitters.
And if the Twitters,
iTunes.
If you just go to Google, you type in Mike X Steve, you'll see all the results. And like I said, the interviews that we've been doing with you guys, with the Fenway faithful out there,
Right.
and also the Mets fans that made the trip up, we have all that stuff on there. It's going to be on there because we're going to do it throughout the week. We've been
Right.
having such a blast right now, and then when we get home, we're going to release some stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. The other thing is we need your help. You're a multiplier. If you bought a shirt today, you supported us, welcome to our team. You're a multiplier. We need your help multiplying. Share our Facebook page. Share our Twitter. Tag us in some stuff. You see something you want us to cover, we'll cover it. We're here for you guys. You could...
The X stands for multiplication. So
yeah, it does. It's not...
It's Mike times Steve. You don't know it right now, but you just became a multiplier.
You have
Just
no
like
idea.
that, just for being here.
Even that guy not paying attention, saying like, "Hey, why can't I hear the game?" Like, you're now a multiplier.
You're now a multiplier.
Right. So listen, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Baseball Tavern. This was awesome.
It really was. A lot of fun. And over and out. Thank you.
The Mike Time Steve Show.